Welcome to the 54th Annual Wiley E. Groves Commencement. We are thrilled that you could join us today to celebrate the accomplishments of these young people. To be respectful of the graduates and their families in attendance, I would like to ask your cooperation on a couple of items. Please clap and cheer for your graduate, but do not use artificial noisemakers. Please do not come up into the area where the graduates are to take pictures. We have plenty of space over here to my left where you can step up, take pictures, and step back. Please keep the aisles clear as our graduates will be moving to their roll call. I ask this so that everyone in attendance has an equal opportunity to view the stage, the processional, and the recessional. I appreciate your help with this. Now, please stand. Gentlemen, remove your caps, except for the graduates. Except for the graduates. And join with the Groves Band, directed by Mr. Jeff Crum, and the Evergreen Singers, directed by guest conductor Gerard Hardiman, as they perform the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you, Groves Band and Evergreen Singers. Now I would like to welcome the co-presidents, you may be seated, the co-presidents of the class of 2015, Samantha Weed and Shashank Rajagopalan.
Hello. We are gathered here today to celebrate the culmination of accomplishments of the class of 2015.
We hope our speech is the first of many congratulations our graduates receive today. But before we begin, we'd like to take a moment to think back on all the teachers who said we could do it, our parents who said we had to do it, and most importantly ourselves for accomplishing it, our high school education.
Thank you to the administrators, teachers, and staff at Groves that have put in countless hours of work and words of advice over these last 4 years. And particularly, we'd like to thank our unbelievable class advisors, Brian Stuckey and Laura Searle.
They were the driving force behind nearly every single class event, from freshman to senior year. Their dedication does not go unappreciated, and they will be sorely missed next year.
If it hasn't started already, we regretfully inform you that today, perhaps the next few months, or years will be littered with euphemisms about the vast possibilities of our promising futures.
But we'd like to change it up a bit. Instead of talking about where we're going or how promising our futures are, we believe that it is important to address that how on the road to success, we do so in a way that is representative of what our school and our high school stands for.
Sam and I hope that all of us stay honest, humble, and empathetic as we move beyond the walls of Groves High School. Our outstanding faculty has done an amazing job in teaching us valuable life lessons that help define our character.
Our administration, often labeled as strict, has underlying reasons why they conduct business in the manner they do. It's because they hold us to a higher standard and see the potential that lies in the student body. We should be thankful and appreciative that we have had such amazing role models these last 4 years.
By refusing to allow state quotas and community pressure to get in the way of the future of our students, they lead by example in proving that there's a greater purpose to an education here at Groves High School than just getting a diploma.
They have taught us that success is meaningless unless you have the underlying values and integrity behind your aspirations. Upon struggling through a difficult trimester of AP Calculus, my mother told me a story that seamlessly represents that how on the road to success, the values you have are imperative. A young woman one day was complaining to her father about how difficult her life had become. He said nothing, but took her into the kitchen and set 3 pans of water to boiling. To the first, he added carrots. To the second, an egg, and finally to the third, ground coffee.
After all 3 had cooked, he asked his daughter to cut into the eggs and carrots and to smell the coffee. "What does this all mean?" she asked so impatiently. "Each food," he said, "teaches us something about facing adversity as represented by the boiling water."
The carrots went in hard, but came out soft and weak. The egg went in fragile, but came out hardened. The coffee, however, changed the water into something better.
"Which will you be like as you face life?" he asked. "Will you give up, become hard, or transform adversity into triumph and something beautiful?" As you go forward in life, you have a choice. You have a choice to either wither and become soft when faced with hardship, or you can blossom and come out better than ever.
As we move forward in life, new challenges will face us. And what defines us as people is how we approach and solve these problems.
Go forward, class of 2015, and make your aspirations your reality in the future. Let your moral compass guide you through the path to success.
We wish you nothing but success in the future. God bless. To continue our celebration, please welcome our Groves Evergreen Singers under the direction of Gerard Hart.
As they perform "I'll Be There," written by Barry Gordy, Paul Davis, Willie Hutch, and Bob Emerson.
Thank you.
Where there is love.
Thank you, Evergreen Singers. And we hope that message of "I'll be there" is the way that the Groves graduates of the class of 2015 always feel about Groves High School. Thank you, Troy. Now, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Jerry Rentschler, the President of the Birmingham Board of Education, with her congratulations to the class of 2015.
Good afternoon, class of 2015, family, friends, teachers, administrators, and graduates. I'm very proud to be speaking to you on behalf of the Board of Education, but before I deliver that message to you, I'd like to introduce my fellow trustees who are sitting right here on my left. If they don't mind, I would like each of you to stand up. Immediately on my left, Treasurer Chris Conti. Beside Christopher is fairly newly elected trustee Jessica Thomas. And beside her is my Vice President, Mr. Rob Lawrence, and trustee and past president Steve Scheit. Thank you so much. As I look across this arena, I'm reminded that the strength of our school community is here before me, all of you. We are fortunate to live in a community that places an extremely high value on education and provides an environment to prepare you for a successful future. Just about the time you entered kindergarten, our school district began to implement a new strategic plan, which included a district-wide character education program. The impact can be seen all around you as you have demonstrated positive attitude, honesty and integrity, respect and kindness, responsibility and accountability. As elementary students, we witnessed many of you interested to become great leaders and role models for others, and also taking the time to use kind words. In middle school, there were very visible aspects with an expansion of classroom community service projects, student counseling, and tutoring younger students, visiting senior citizens, creating gardens, and planting trees. Quite appropriately, a few weeks ago, we learned that Groves High School received a National School of Character Award, which is a very distinguished honor. You should all be very proud. Please give yourselves a round of applause. All of our Birmingham schools have a touch tone, and as you well know, at Groves, it's house rules. I won't read them all today, but to summarize, the mission of Groves is to value each individual and foster intellectual excellence, personal development, social responsibility, and ethical standards. Falcons, you certainly deserve recognition for your work and commitment as a community of learners. We are very proud of you as you have demonstrated respect and empathy for others, whether it was on the football field on Victory Day, as volunteers in the Big Brother, Big Sister mentor program, or looking after the little ones at our We Care Center during an unexpected fire alarm. Class of 2015, you have demonstrated a passion for helping individuals and organizations in need of assistance. Volunteerism includes service at children's orchards, Gleaners Food Bank, literacy projects, COTS, and many more. Giving back is the Groves way. As your journey continues, whether joining the workforce or going on to further your education, please remember your experiences at Groves. Know that you have a good foundation to build on. So follow your passion, pursue your dreams. You have time to find out what it is you love. And you have everything you need to be successful in life. Great character. Congratulations, class of 2015.
Lots of speeches up here. Thank you, Jerry. Now, let's welcome to the stage Anna Doherty, Amira Camus, Meg Leader, and Carly Stern, who will be performing the song For Good from the musical Wicked, written by Stephen Schwartz. And they, even though Carly asked me not to do this, they are accompanied by her dad.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bring something we must learn,
and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its glory by a wind of the sea, like a sea dropped I scattered in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Running like a sailing from its past is the wind of the sea, like a stream that meets a boulder in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better.
Let's once again thank them for their beautiful rendition. I love the message that that song has for graduates. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Daniel Nearad, the Superintendent of the Birmingham Schools. He will share his congratulations and thoughts with the graduates of the Groves class of 2015.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're gathered in the presence of greatness, and if these student performers aren't an indication of that, they truly are. They're so impressive, and they remind us of your great talent, all of you. So good afternoon, and thank you very much for being here today. Your presence means a great deal to us. I also want to thank you for everything that each of you have done to make today what it is, and that is an opportunity to recognize these wonderful young adults and to celebrate the importance of this transition, the transition from high school to the next phase of living, learning, and life. And I want you to know I could not be prouder to stand before you, our very fine graduates, knowing that you, moving forward, will make this world a better place than we have. I am also humbled to be in the presence of truly dedicated staff members who have committed their lives to giving wings to children's dreams. Through your excellent craft work, you have prepared these graduates for their next place, and goodness knows, because of your work, there is no limit to their next place. And as we think about our staff, maybe do so mindful of the fact that our elementary, middle, and high school staff members together have brought these young people to where they are today. And as educators and support staff members, we know we do not, and we know we cannot stand alone. We stand side by side with you as parents, guardians, and other family members because you truly have represented wonderful first teachers for these wonderful graduates. Having great young people, a great staff, and great supportive family members tells the tale of what makes for the right kind of ingredients that ensure that our young people develop well and that our community remains strong. So yes, today is about high school graduation ceremony, perhaps one of the most important passages from childhood to adulthood. And as I think about this passage, I'm reminded by what I said in my beginning remarks about you making this a better place than we have, a better world than we have. Please understand that implicit in my statement is a recognition on my part that we are handing off to you quite the imperfect place, and that problems do remain, and that we know that you're up to the challenge to make those problems into solutions. And as I think about the possibilities of you making this world a more perfect place for all of us, I know how much your leadership will matter going forward. Leadership of all types. Last Sunday, writer Mitch Albom in the Detroit Free Press framed this issue from the perspective of the workplace. The title of his column I kind of found fairly cool because it came from a song by the band The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again. In Albom's column, he stated, quote, "The right boss makes a job tolerable, or somewhat tolerable at least. On the other hand, the wrong boss can make the job a holy terror." In that same column, where in fact Mitch Albom was speaking to graduates, he revealed some of the secret code regarding what makes for good boss behavior, good leadership behavior. And he said the following: as a boss, little things get noticed. The tone of your voice, whether you say hello to people, how often you say good job to people, and how delicately you speak about your own money as a boss. As your superintendent, I stand before you today believing in those ideas. And I also stand before you as a leader knowing full well there are imperfections in all of us, including me. So please understand, in no way did I include Albom's ideas about being a good boss because as your superintendent I have fully cracked this code, because the truth of it is none of us have, including me. I do want you to know, though, that as leaders and bosses, we have an obligation to be as good as we can be for the people we serve. So I want to share just a couple of additional ideas that I believe in as a leader. I believe that leadership matters, but it is more in the way we lead that matters more. Piero Ferrucci, in his book, The Power of Kindness, said the following. He pointed out some key leadership values that I want to leave you with. First, empathy, the value of empathy. This is the quality of being sensitive to the emotions of others, being able to put oneself in other people's shoes. Ferrucci describes empathy as the best means to improve any relationship. And now, from my perspective, if this world is going to be a better place, there will be a need for you graduates to understand and pay attention to the needs of others, especially those that are less fortunate than we are. And the second quality I want to point out is the quality of humility. Here, Ferrucci describes this quality as knowing one's own weaknesses and accepting them, even if it is painful. To chase illusions away and realize how much you do not know in life. To treasure life's lessons. And again, for me, sometimes life's lessons can be fairly humbling, because as leaders, we do make mistakes, and you will make mistakes as well. But on this point of humility, knowing one's own weaknesses, I want to leave you with this thought. As future leaders, people do want to know that you have answers to real-world problems, but they do not want to hear from someone that feels they have all the answers to all the problems. Having empathy and being humble are two important qualities that in their absence in leaders can make for the bad boss and can lead to other people's needs not being met. But what I find interesting about both empathy and humility is the following, and that is that we actually learn about these things, humility and empathy, very early in life. And sometimes we learn them, oftentimes we learn them in places called kindergarten classrooms. And we learn these skills from our parents and grandparents. I say that after all, these are the real life and leadership skills that will allow you to be the best leaders and the best bosses possible. In actuality, though, I'm really not talking about anything from any research about leadership. What I'm talking about are the qualities that make for good people. Knowing how to take care of other people's needs and knowing that none of us are perfect are qualities of, frankly, just being a good person. And here, we know we have much to celebrate today because you truly are really excellent people. And we wish you nothing but the best as you move forward in your life to make this world a better place. And now let me close with a few notes of thanks as well. Family members and friends, thank you for all you have done to bring these young people to this point in their lives. And I also want to thank you for all the support you provide our schools, and that you provide this great school district that we call the Birmingham Public Schools. Know that that help continues to be needed. And I would ask you, as a gesture of my appreciation to you, let's join in a round of applause for you. Principal Kathy Hurley and the great Grove staff, thank you for your empathy and your humility in service of these great young people. This staff deserves our applause as well. And now, graduates, I want to thank you for the privilege of having this opportunity to serve you. We are humbled by your accomplishments, and we truly know that you will make this world a better place than we have. I wish you nothing but the best. Enjoy your day today, and as you look forward, know that we need you to be the best leaders and the best bosses and to make this world a better place. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Neran. I do believe that this class has demonstrated throughout their 4 years that they are good people and will grow to be great leaders. Now, I would like to introduce our first student commencement speaker, Amber Aboud.
Hello, everyone. Staff, faculty, parents, other assorted family members, and of course, the class of 2015. Here we are. You know what? 15 happens to be a pretty special number if you think about it. It's the smallest natural number that we can spell with only 7 letters. Let that sink in. 7. As we all know, 7 minus 3 is 4. And 4 years ago, we started our journey here at Groves. Yes, see, if you were anything like me, as a freshman, you may have been intimidated by the upperclassmen. There was a moment in my freshman year that I remember. You see, the 2-minute bell had just rung, and I, of course, became panicked as I wanted to get to class on time, as every freshman does. And I remember sidestepping the traffic of the seniors, and they all looked so self-assured, and they knew where they were headed, and I thought, one day that'll be me. And here we are, the close of our senior year, and you know what? There are freshmen looking at us. And we're those seniors now, so it's pretty strange to think about how fast time went by. And though it did go by quickly, I think it's safe to say we all learned something. See, we learned that if a senior gets 6 tardies in their 3rd trimester, they are required to take the final. We learned that Mr. Reeser is the name of one of our favorite substitutes. Yeah, Reeser. We also learned and disproved many rumors that the senior class doesn't always win the bucket. And despite that adversity, we also learned that Groves High School is filled with phenomenal adults that not only care about our education, but care about us as individuals. See, we have an extraordinary teachers, such a lovely and dedicated custodial staff, and a great faculty, and not every kid can say that about their school. So I'm pretty thankful. Speaking of giving thanks, I'm also thankful for another experience in my high school career that I would like to share with all of you beautiful people because it taught me a lot about life. You see, I have been clowning around for the past few years. Literally, I volunteer as a clown in the Birmingham Parade. Yeah, and as fitting as this may seem, it taught me a lot. So the first thing I learned about being a clown is that you have to laugh at yourself. You see, when you're dressed with a rainbow wig and like multicolored, ill-fitting clothes, you kind of look foolish. And because of this, people will laugh at you. They may even point and laugh at you. But that's okay, you know, laugh with them. You have to do that. Because in life, we're all going to make mistakes, and we're all going to engage in some form of foolish behavior, and we're all going to embarrass ourselves one way or another, but we can't dwell on those things. The only thing we can do is laugh and learn from our mistakes. Now, the next thing I learned while being a clown is that not everyone is going to like you. You see, in the parades, I made a lot of small children cry. But did I let that get to me and destroy my self-confidence? No. You see, I just carried on. Because in life, we're going to be faced with so many different obstacles and challenges, and it's really about how you handle them. It's what matters. So once we leave here, we're going to meet so many people, and you might not get along with every single one, but focus on the ones you do get along with, your friends. Think about all the friends we've made so far in our lives and all the friends we're going to make henceforth. Look at the people sitting around you. In the future, that kid could be a doctor or a marine biologist. Maybe some of you are moving out of the country, or maybe you're staying in the city. Some of you are going to college, or maybe you already have a job. Maybe you're going to join a band. You know, whatever you do after here, Groves has given you a great foundation to back you up. As J.R.R. Tolkien once wrote in his Lord of the Rings trilogy, someone else always has to carry on the story. Now it's our turn. So thank you and congratulations.
It's kind of hard to imagine her as a clown, isn't it? Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now I would like to welcome Mrs. Kathy Barnes, the Groves PTSA president, to the stage. She will present the prestigious Tom Carson Memorial Award.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy Barnes, the Groves PTA president, and I'm honored to be here with you this afternoon to award the Tom Carson Memorial Award. This award is in recognition of Tom Carson, Groves' much beloved and first basketball coach who died suddenly of a heart attack following a basketball game in 1968. Every year since his death, the Tom Carson Memorial Award has been presented during the graduation ceremonies to a senior, male and female student who best personify the qualities of personal behavior in which Mr. Carson taught and believed in. Mr. Carson encouraged students to recognize that they only live once and therefore should strive to do something constructive and worthwhile with their lives. He encouraged students to be law-abiding, honest, sincere, show concern for others, and be loyal to family, friends, school, and the community. These students don't have to be outstanding academically, they don't have to be the superstar in any sport, but they just have to be good all-around citizens. Groves' most prestigious award is made possible through the Tom Carson Memorial Award Fund, which is maintained by the Groves PTA. A committee of students, faculty, and parents carefully review the nominations and pick the winners. These two well-deserving students will be awarded a personalized watch and also have their name engraved on a plaque that will stay in the school office. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs on each one, and when I'm done, I'd like the winners to come up and join me on stage to receive their award. Our female recipient of the Tom Carson Award has been an outstanding leader and role model while participating in a wide variety of school activities, community organizations, and volunteer opportunities. She was named captain of the cross-country team, secretary of National Honor Society, secretary of the sophomore class, 2-year marching band squad leader, and member of Big Brothers Big Sisters. She has completed numerous volunteer hours, which include tutoring, working in newborn intensive care unit, and assisting at a local senior citizen facility. In the words of her teachers, she has been nothing less than a shining light of character and leadership. She was one of the smartest kids in the room, and people knew it, but she never had to show off to get that respect. She's one of the most humble individuals I've ever been around, and that's why people naturally gravitate to her. I'm pleased to award Maria Roma the Tom Carson Award for 2015. Our male recipient, likewise, has been an outstanding leader and role model while participating in a wide variety of school activities, community organizations, and volunteer opportunities. He's been a 4-year member of the soccer team, Grove Student Congress representative, participating in the school musical, National Honor Society, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. He's completed numerous volunteer and community outreach hours, which include summer camp counseling for students with special needs, J-Serve, Sunday school teacher assistant, and Summer in the City. In the words of his teachers, he was a kid I could count on to pair with a struggling student. He could mentor and teach while getting the kid to like him. He is unbelievably kind and totally devoid of an ego that you would expect of someone so accomplished. I'm pleased to award Daniel Hunnett the Tom Carson Award for 2015. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Maria and Daniel. The Tom Carson Award is the highest honor that Groves confers on a student. Very well deserving. Thank you. Now, with our second student commencement address, please welcome Michael Brown and Catherine Voigt.
Hello, class of 2015.
Congratulations, you guys, we did it.
Look at this place. Look at us. We are finally here on this day.
Take a look at the person next to you, on your left and your right.
I'm sure you guys realize that this may be the last time we'll all be sitting together as the class of 2015. Maybe that isn't such a bad thing.
Can you imagine being in the same place with the same people for the rest of your life?
You see, graduation speeches are always so nostalgic about the last 4 years. They said that these are the wonder years, that we are ready for the real world.
So what have we been living in for the past 18 years?
An MTV reality show?
Okay, anyway, to be honest, if the last 4 years were supposed to be the best 4 years of our lives, that's pretty sad.
We have like 80 more to go, right?
Right.
Today, Kate and I are going to shine the light of truth onto the four most common lies of school.
1, cursive. Seriously, I'm pretty sure that we will never have to write in cursive. So I'd like to thank my 3rd grade teacher for giving me 100 useful skills and 1 useless.
2, guess what? As a grown-up, get this. You can go to the bathroom without a pass.
What?
Oh yes. After 12 years, we finally have control of our own bladders.
Wait. You guys, we're all in trouble. We're wearing hats at a school function.
You know, I think the biggest one of all is the idea that your worth revolves around the numbers you get, whether on a giant standardized test or your GPA.
We have questions for the grown-ups in the audience. When was the last time your ACT score kept you from getting a job?
When was the last time your GPA stopped you from getting that promotion?
As most of you know, I'm a teacher's daughter. And the one big secret I've learned about the students, they come, they learn, and they leave.
All the problems that we had, all the dramas and friend freakouts, they don't matter.
That one test you failed in bio freshman year, I promise you that you can get that job, that diploma, or any other thing you're trying to achieve.
See, you aren't, nor have you ever been defined by your GPA. Your friends didn't hang out with you because you can get them into college. We dazzled our teachers, parents, because we aren't just athletes, theater kids, or GSC representatives.
We balance schoolwork, social lives, and societal pressure all at once.
Congratulations on making it out alive. We survived high school, and how do we respond to this fact?
We ask what's next. We are the generation where the next big thing is the most important thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. That means we can adapt constantly and aren't afraid of change. We welcome it.
This adaptability comes from the lessons our coaches, administrators, parents, and while we're on the subject of school, our very special teachers taught us, whether curriculum-based or not.
Mrs. Seaboard taught us the wisest of sayings. And remember, when our administrators told us that, while they want us to dance, we need to be face-to-face.
And leave some space. Our CSO, Mrs. Gahagan, shared opportunities for community service with people of different cultures and ethnic groups. Here at Groves, we met kids with the same problems and struggles, but with different background, upbringing, and abilities.
Our experiences turned us into the great class we are today, with the skills to turn the underrepresented into represented.
And we know that with the experiences our peers faced, struggled with, and overcame, that our character is going to continue to impress and grow.
Our teachers have given us the tools to take on any challenge and ask its creator, what's next?
Our parents have also put it with so much, whether driving to practice or rehearsal, corralling kids on a field trip, or reminding us to do our homework.
Reminding us to put down the phone when they wanted us to, and to pick up the phone when they wanted us to.
As many assemblies have done before, we raise a call to action. We need to make sure that our future children don't have to fight the same fights we did. We should let our children know the true equality in and out of the classroom.
Whether we work directly in political positions or just simply vote, we are the grown-ups now.
And someday, when we watch our own children grow into high school seniors, they might live through the same circumstances we did. the same irrelevant drama, but with different people. And we will teach them to say,
This isn't the rest of my life. This is just a checkpoint.
what's next? So, fellow classmates, when you do say your last goodbyes, just remember, something's coming, something good, and you can let it all go. Congratulations, class of 2015. What's next?
Thank you, Kate and Mike. Now, we are going to have the pleasure of listening to the Acoustic Mayhem, their rendition of Counting Stars by Ryan Tedder. Please welcome Gerard Hardiman, Kayla Kappen, Elizabeth Lohr, Angela Peters, and Nelson Posey. Thank you. Join me again in appreciating the talents of our Acoustic Mayhem. Again, welcome. First, let me begin by thanking those who have made this day possible. I want to thank the Birmingham Board of Education and our district administrators who work to supply our schools with the best facilities, the best teachers, and the best materials, so the students of the Birmingham Public Schools have access to an excellent education. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to thank all the teachers from kindergarten through grade 12, who have touched the minds of these graduates. Teachers are the frontline workers who plan and strategize every day to make learning relevant, timely, and engaging for the students who sit in their classrooms. It is not an easy job. In fact, I believe that teaching is a calling. Join me in thanking all the teachers in our presence. And lastly, and most importantly, I'd like to thank the parents, guardians, and extended families of these young people. You have made choices throughout your life to provide what you believe has been best for your child. I am sure that you have sacrificed, put your own needs aside, and sometimes wondered at night if you made the right decision sometime during the last 18 years. But today, you have the opportunity to sit and watch your student walk across the stage, accept their high school diploma, knowing that this is just one life milestone and that there will be many more to come. Congratulations. Enjoy this moment. Now I'd like to address the graduates. Each year, the graduating class of Groves High School selects a graduate to recognize as their honor alumnus. In the selection process, the class considers its values, its collective class characteristics, and how they want to be remembered through their pick of an honor alumnus. The honor alumnus picked by the class of 2015 was Merrill Davis. Merrill Davis is a 2005 graduate who went on to win a gold medal in the Winter Olympics at Sochi in ice dancing. She and her partner, Charlie White, are the first Americans to ever win a gold medal in ice dancing. Olympic champions are recognized as extremely accomplished individuals who have attained the most prestigious honor in their sport. This selection says a lot about the goals and aspirations of this class, if this is the legacy that they want to leave. Much has been studied and written about the qualities and mindsets of Olympic athletes. When I read about the attributes and qualities of Olympic athletes and what enabled them to rise to the top, I realized that these attributes apply to each and every one of you, and as a collective class. You have reached one goal in your life, graduation from high school. Now, as you move on to the adult phase of your life, think about what Joanne DeWalta has said about having an Olympic mindset. First, she says, have enthusiasm and desire for something. Begin with a vision, a dream, and develop what that looks like in your mind. Pay attention to your vision, and your energy will follow that. Secondly, have strength and courage. It is not easy to work hard. You're going to face tough competition. You're going to get tired. You're going to encounter negative influences, and you're going to have obstacles in your life. Have the strength and courage to keep going. Next, have internal motivation and self-direction. Direction and drive comes from within. Your vision and your dream has to be your dream. It's not your parents' dream. It's not what your roommate tells you. It's not what your friends tell you. It's not what TV or movies or songs tell you. You have to decide what you want. When your dream is truly your dream, you will compete to achieve it. Fourth, have a commitment to excellence. You've already proved that as a class. Now your dream must be your priority. Be excellent. Put forth effort every day to get better. Each day, set a new limit. Stretch yourself to achieve your goal. Next, be focused yet relaxed. I know that sounds difficult. This speaks to the need for balance. You must be able to let go of the distractions that will come into your life. Do not let the factors pull you away from what you want to achieve. Know what's important and let go of the things that will not bring you to where you want to be in life. And lastly, be able to handle adversity. You will be faced with difficult situations. Everything you do will not be successful. Setbacks should become opportunities for learning and for growth. Do not let a setback become a stop sign. Let it be a way to grow. None of us knows what the future holds for us. My hope for each of you is you find your Olympic dream. I hope that at some point in your life, you identify what it is that you want more than anything else. When you do, I hope you think back to how Meryl accomplished her Olympic dream and model your rise to the top after her. If you adopt these mindsets, you will accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Groves has provided you with the foundation for these qualities. Use what you have learned at Groves and set your sights on your next championship. Now, Dr. Neerad, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Groves High School, I duly certify that these young people seated in front of you have completed the requirements as defined by the Birmingham Board of Education for graduation. Groves counselors Monica Fugetti and Greg Kolb will be reading the names of the graduates as they come on stage. Dr. Neerad, I proudly present you the class of 2015.
Shashank S. Rajagopalan, Senior Class Co-President.
Samantha Elizabeth Weed, Senior Class Co-President.
Amber Ann Abood, Commencement Speaker.
Michael Darnell Brown, Jr., Commencement Speaker.
Catherine Elizabeth Voigt, Commencement Speaker.
Aaron Matthew Walt, Senior Class Secretary.
Demery Suzanne Geisbers, GSC Representative.
Tamia Marie Waller, GSC Representative.
Cyrell Janae Wheeler, GSC Representative.
Sarah Quinn Freed, GSC Co-President.
Zachary Mark Van Fossen, GSC Co-President.
Francesca Marie Antonucci, GSC Treasurer.
Isabella Marcel Edelman.
Mehek Ahmed.
Madeline Jane Allen.
Eva Antaby Lerman.
Lexi Ann Arabo.
Xavier Alexander Archie.
Casey Nicole Arnold.
Nicholas Russell Badadamo.
Michael James Bajorek.
Thomas William Baker.
Natalie Eden Barish.
Maxwell Jacob Berry.
Chandler Faye Bosch.
Brooks Carlisle Beatty.
Michael Maurice Bender.
Eric Lowell Bernhardt.
Nicholas Phoenix Berry.
Julia Margaret Berthel.
Ariana Iloni Biggins.
Connor Anthony Biondo.
Ariel Christine Boston.
Brianna Anastasia Boucher.
Corey Liddell Boyd Jr.
William Gillis Briggs.
Malik Nelson Brown.
Jordan Carlin Bryant.
Taylor Paige Budner.
Giovanna Maria Battazzoni.
Matthew Loomis Santos Cardenas.
Isabel Allegra Ward Carley.
Ethan Paul Carrick.
Alea Joy Carter.
Christopher William Coburn.
Sarah Rebecca Cohen.
Sherrod Maurice Cohen, Jr.
Evan Micah Cole.
Wayne MacArthur Collins, Jr.
Remy Amir Combs.
Christopher Edwin Cornetet, Jr.
Carly Nicole Casenza.
Edward Jason Cribbs.
Brendan Michael Cullen.
Paige Devon Capellas.
Davion Shantez Curry.
Scott Anthony Cusimano.
Chase Richard Sir.
Ella Mary Dacey.
Anna Rose Doherty.
Margaret Lang Davis.
Stephanie Marie Dean.
Antonio Christopher Delgado.
Sophia Louise Dykman.
Carolyn Susanna Dimitri.
Janae Davina Dogan.
Shannon Marie Doyle.
Hakeem Peyton Easter.
Allison Sylvestre Egrin.
Zacharias Mahaney Xavier.
Jacob Henry Eisenstein.
Jeremy Michael Ellis.
Ahmed Mohammed El Sharnobi.
Lucas David Erickson.
Jamie Aaron Ettinger.
Molly Colleen Everly.
April Sky Ferguson.
Jeremy Ishara Fernando.
Kiera Ann Philbin.
Curtis Eugene Fisher.
Gwen Elizabeth Fisher.
Scott Patrick Fitzgerald.
Caitlin Brooke Forbes.
Kareem Delonte Ford.
Delon David Foster.
Cameron Keller Fox.
Riley Anderson Fox.
Karen Lynn Frink.
Christian Jacob Gators.
Matthew Griffin Gallo.
Callie Lynn Gerbig.
Shelby Nan Glinsky.
Claire Elizabeth Goatley.
Ethan Robert Goatley.
Emma Kathleen Godin.
Rachel Morgan Goldberg.
Ronald Aaron Goldsberry.
Laura Elaine Gu.
Zachary Matthew Grazel.
Jason Tyler Gross.
Isabella Anil Gutierrez.
Connor Wade Haney.
Monique Lydia Ann Hakam.
Kelsey Brene Hall.
Melissa Gabrielle Hall.
Margaret Baines Hammond. Gerard Marcel Hardiman.
Shay Edward Harms.
Christopher Warren Harris.
Mackenzie Ray Harris.
Oliver Hillek Hartzell.
Montana Luke Harville.
Lily Maya Havis.
Meredith Patricia Hawkins.
Cortland James Hurd. Macy Dean Hendrickson.
Rachel Brooke Hirsch.
Kevin John Hillman.
Michael Kevin Hirsch.
Aaron Murphy Hoagland.
Allison Rose Hunnett.
Daniel Jacob Honnett.
Tasnim Ibni Hossein.
Isabella Grace Herdakis.
Jasmine Ashley Monique Hunter.
Constance Deacon Husseltine.
Devin Heath Jackson.
Epen Kira Kekera James.
Kevin Eugene Johnson.
Francesca Louise Johnston. Crystal Amir Kachel.
Dina Raid Kadadi.
Sally Heffelgazelle.
Andrew Sam Kakos. Lila Rachel Kalfas.
Amira Catherine Camus.
Kayla Sarah Capin.
Benjamin Peter Cassad.
Shelby Teresa Kassab.
Serena Yana Koshik.
David Clark Kingston.
Alexandria Amira Kizzy.
Joshua Blanchard Knoll.
Christopher Andrew Compass.
Eleni Catherine Kondak.
Ann Sarah Kozak.
Morgan Miller Kreitz.
Benjamin Nicholas Koo.
Abdul Hamid Lee.
Bridget Catherine Lapine.
Shane Cameron Levine.
Remy Sebastian Lubell.
Meg Mackenzie Leader.
Devin Asa Armand Light.
Ethan Cole Lockwood.
Elizabeth Angeline Lohr.
Victoria Marie Lucas.
Jackson Richard Loix.
Stephen Michael McLean.
Andrea Jean McMichael.
Matthew Robert McMichael.
Catherine Elizabeth Malhotra. Emily Carol Mazius.
Jessica May McCoy.
Matthew Sean McEwen.
Kelly Christine McGowan.
Aaliyah Janelle McIlwain.
Colin Frederick McQueen.
Francisco Mestra.
Oriane Emily Michelle.
Jessica Marie Militic.
James Patrick Mosheri.
Isabel Sarah Molnar.
Henry James Montgomery.
Frederick Haas Mushir.
Emma Kathleen Mullen.
Justin Timothy Myers.
Claire Elizabeth Nader.
Gloria Francis Noble. Sunny Neighbor.
Montgomery Axel Nielsen. Grace Nicole Noble.
Mark Yaroslav Nona.
Joseph Sam Novick.
Kelsey Flannery Nowick.
Ian Patrick O'Brien.
Daniel Paul Olenek.
Taylor Mackenzie O'Shaughnessy.
Imani Monet Page.
Jordan Allen Palmer.
Alexander Pozan Pamuchu.
Lena Dion Parker.
Roderick Irwin Parks.
Kasana Jamie Parnell.
James Robert Paluska Jr.
Angela Carolyn Peters.
Cooper Jeffrey Peters Wood.
Allegra Paige Picano.
Michael Anthony Pisano.
Jalan Rihanna Ashley Pittman.
Marta Louise Plumhoff.
Simone Jessica Porter.
Nelson Dan Posey.
Laura Deborah Patricus.
Jabron Anthony Powell.
Sophia Noel Pryor.
Christina Elizabeth Purell.
Michael Lyons Quinn.
Charlotte Rose Reeder.
Rafi Abdul Raymond.
Zachary Antonio Resnick.
Louis Pierre Rich.
Alexa Donzetta Victoria Robinson.
Maria Bianca Roma.
Nicolo Giuseppe Romano.
Seth Avery Rosen.
Tierra Marie Ross.
Cambria Elise Rush.
Delaney Claire Ryan.
Carly Alexandra Salerno.
Emma Lauren Salison.
Jordan Nicole Sandercock.
Angela Nicole Sotullo.
Sophia Khadija Syed.
Elise Caroline Shelfeffer.
Joshua Misha Scholl.
William Alexander Schwartz.
Matthew Daniel Schweiss.
Cameron Stephen Scott.
Devin Von Zell Scott.
James Brennan Searle.
Colton Chase Sefton.
Kai Hannah Selwa.
Kyle Anthony Sherman.
Michael Zanji Shi.
Abigail Molly Siegel.
Rebecca Ethel Simonoff.
Colin Christopher Slan.
Sina Maria Slutterman von Langevita.
Alicia Dejanay Smith.
Conrad Michael Sulaka.
Hope Ellen Sovereign.
Shannon Marion St. John.
Jayla Jean Stallings.
Daniel Michael Gregory Stasu.
John Paul Stempian.
Carly Danielle Stern.
Sydney Stern.
John Reynolds Stevens.
Sierra Monet Stokes.
Kyle Allen Stratton.
Marie Surer.
Lewis Lane Sullivan.
Jordan Mikel Nalante Sweet.
Patrick Allen Takata.
Savannah Elise Tatum.
Lamar Tyrone Taylor.
Parker Hansted Treadwell.
Paul Brannick Tremonti.
Jimmy Lee Tripp Jr.
Julia Rose Trombley.
Leonard Vincent Trotta III.
Noah Munoz Turner.
David Chukafumenia Uzorko.
Alex Troy Van Houston.
Stephen Paul Varjabedian.
Alexander Zinovijevich Vatoshko.
Elizabeth Mary Voss.
Taylor Elizabeth Webb.
Ethan Hardwick Webster.
Jenna Victoria Weed.
Caitlin Ann Weitzel.
Catherine Elizabeth Whalen.
Darnell Gary White.
Jessica Reynolds White.
Melissa Carol Whitefoot.
Amanda Page Whitelaw.
Nathan Walter Weichel.
Courtney Elizabeth Wilkie.
Idris Mohammed Abdawasi Williams.
Kaylee Gabrielle Yates.
Jalen Scott Zeman.
Let's give one more hand to the class of 2015 graduates. They are an impressive group, and I enjoyed listening to the families who enjoyed celebrating as their child or their nephew or niece or grandson or granddaughter walked across the stage. Thank you for joining us and enjoying this accomplishment in their life. I ask that you remain in your seats as the graduates recede out of the auditorium today. The final goodbye will come from Sam and Shoshana.
We'd like to say one final congratulations to you all for making it through these 4 years.
And now the final step. Please turn your tassels from the right to the left, and you are now officially graduates. Congratulations.